Hi everyone. Today is just a beautiful spring day. It's just so beautiful. Even when I look down at the ground here and I see nature has come through and is blossoming. And the weather here in Ireland yesterday was just constant downpours and the wind, and yet all of nature is surviving. And just look at this beautiful plant here as well. And I love the way this fern, the old, the green, the dark green, and all the new coming through. And then, of course, I'm looking at these little trees growing from the seeds of this enormous tree here. Like, we have a rainforest here in the sanctuary, and just watching nature fighting to spring forth and blossom is just beautiful. Just look at all of these lovely little trees. All horse chestnuts, and I know they won't all survive like this tree, but some will. Some will take its place, and this one is already maybe 500 years old or way older than that. And look at the branches here. Look at all the green shooting out. Life. And I guess we forget, because we take nature for granted. We forget the beauty we see. We forget that life is bursting forth, just like our life. Springtime, we're meant to become more full of life, more energetic. We're in a sense at springtime, spring nature is showing us that we can become creative like nature. It's like a garden of young trees. This enormous horse chestnut tree, all of her babies, all of the young that is around. There's just so many of them. And I would love them all to survive. But I know they won't all survive. But the strongest will. And the mother tree, this beautiful horse chestnut tree, is going to do everything possible to help these tiny babies survive. And they too are taking in the light and the sun and the energy through their leaves as well, just like the mother tree here. It is just so incredible. Like, when you think about it, life itself, just look at those branches and the way some of them are shooting other little branches off, and the green leaves, the buds, those buds I had showed you months ago on another nature walk. And then I love again where, here's a tiny little tree. Look at this. Now, when you're walking through nature, more than likely you would walk on that. You wouldn't even see it. But we need to connect another little bit to nature and watch our step. Watch where we put our feet. And then when you see all the new coming out, all what's happening here under this beautiful tree. And just look at more. Like, life is bursting forth, and I want you to be full of life, just like the earth is. The earth is just bursting forth, and I would love you to burst forth as well with joy and happiness, and to feel good that you are alive. You're alive, like everything in spring coming up. You're alive like all of these beautiful trees. You just look around you and you hear the birds. Like, In another part of the forest, another day when I was in here, just after the rain, it lashed rain, and I found a bird's nest. I will show you the bird's nest, not today, another day, but nature is so, so precious. And we must remember that all these young trees grew from a chestnut from this tree here. And I would love to find a chestnut on the ground, but I doubt I will. Oh yes, I did. Well, I found a shell. And the shell is thorny, but the chestnut has gone from it, and there's a slug in there. And the slug is important too, because that little slug is helping nature as well. So hopefully that one of these little trees have grown from the seed that was inside this shell. And I suppose maybe in months to come, when you see a horse chestnut on the ground, maybe you will pick it up and say to yourself, wow, a tree can grow from this, because you're seeing them. Like you're seeing them there. And sometimes we forget that. We forget that life comes forth from a seed. And it's precious. And I just love the way the angels at the moment are, what would I say? I'm just smiling. God, it's hard to, it's like as if they're sprinkling them with life. And I'm just saying to them, please do and help nature to grow stronger for all of nature and including ourselves. And there's something else I see, and that is a young hawthorn tree. And I'm watching where I put my feet as well. Look at this young hawthorn tree. She's very young, God knows, maybe only, I don't know how fast they grow, but she's grown in among this big horse chestnut tree, and all the horse chestnut trees growing around her. And this tree alone gives fruit as well to the birds when time comes. It's just so, so beautiful. And now we're coming to another little part of the forest. And again, these fantastic trees that we have done work on. Like we've taken so much of the ivy off and given the tree a chance. Just look at that bark. Just look at what nature has created. Strength and beauty. If we were all strong like a tree, that strength, I would be very happy, because then I could do loads of jobs that I'd love to be able to do. But I'm not as strong as a tree. Just look at this wonderful gift that nature, that God has given us, this incredible planet. Just look at this. Like, isn't it just... And this is from a young horse chestnut. Like, just look at it. It's just so, so beautiful. And this is her here. Like, she's young. And look at the branches. And look at all of the green life that she's just bursting forth. And we're meant to burst forth in life as well. That's what nature reminds us, and reminds us to connect. But we're meant to burst forth in life, in taking care of, what's the word the angels are giving me? The canopy of nature. And I hope I pronounced that properly. This young tree, horse chestnut tree, has me and you under its canopy. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it properly. It's protecting us. It's giving us shelter. And it's just incredible to feel all of the energy that is here. And again, young trees growing around her. You know, just look at a young hawthorn. I know that's a young hawthorn because I recognize the leaves. And it's always to remember where you put your footsteps. So maybe we will walk this way. And I love to think about probably one day, maybe many years ago, this ground was covered with loads of young horse chestnuts, and this one survived. You know, it's just incredible to think that out of probably a whole load, probably hundreds of baby little trees that we've already seen under another big tree, if one survives and grows to this size, we will keep our forest. But we have to look after them. We have to protect them now. And we can't be thinking of, what would I say, let's cut it down for a boat or to build a house. Because nature needs that canopy as well. Because nature makes a house for other parts of nature through that canopy as well. It's just so incredible. And I hope you're enjoying this. And even here we have all the brambles, and all these brambles are going to give food to nature. And of course it has been lashing rain and we have mud. You know, lots of us would say, oh, that's horrible. But this is part of nature as well. The earth needs the water, it needs the rain. And this is a rainforest, so it does get a lot of water and it holds it. But then it gives so much life. And we shouldn't complain about, oh, it's all muddy, it's horrible, dirty, how can we clean it up? Every time we move something that we think we want to manicure it, let's say, we're blocking nature then from flowing and doing what it needs to do to give us life. I think we forget about that. Nature gives us life. You know, nature is a free gift. You know, our whole planet. And it's so precious and so beautiful. Even when you look ahead up here, you know, and you see the little yellow blossom and the branch that is partly broken and has come over the ground, you know, the pathway. I know we're always thinking of get rid of it. We never think of let's walk up to it and see what's happening to this branch. Oh, look at these. Aren't they beautiful? I think they call them a little primrose here in Ireland, a wild primrose, and they're just shooting up. And again, the hawthorn and this branch, it has broken, and probably the storm, you can see where it is cracked. I doubt it'll survive. It'll probably come down again. It'll probably break off. But again, it's full of life and nature. Just look at this beautiful green moss. You know, how beautiful all of that is. So maybe today when you're out walking, even if you're walking in the city and you're passing a park, or you go into the park, or you're walking along and, you know, somebody has flower boxes out or something like that, Like even looking at this here, in the winter time it was all brown, and look at it now, it's shooting green leaves. It's shooting life. So nature is reminding you to live and to enjoy life. And nature does find it difficult at many, many times, just like we find life difficult as well. But nature doesn't look on the difficult times constantly. It just gets through them and then bursts forth with life. And that's what we need to do as well, burst forth with life. Like God has given us this incredible gift of this incredible planet of ours, and we take it for granted. It's a gift given freely. We didn't have to buy it. And all of nature, and even looking at nature here, just look at the different colours of green, just look in there. You know, under the thorny brambles, there's something else growing, something else coming forth. So just try and remember all the gifts that you have been given, and all of that love that's inside of you, and that you can see and you can feel and you can hear. And ask your guardian angel and ask God to help you to connect closer to nature. When you're out walking today, whether it is a cement city, or you're in a park, or you're on a beach, or you're in a forest, and listen to all of those birds. They're all here for you to enjoy, to help to make you feel happier and realize how precious life is, how wonderful it is. So I just want to say now, God bless and love you. These midgets around me are just eating me. That's why I keep doing this. They're biting me. They're little rascals. That's what I call them. Rascals, go away. Don't be pestering me. But they are. So I'll say God bless and love you all. Bye bye. If you enjoyed my videos today, like and subscribe. Don't miss my latest teachings and meditations.